You ready, sunshine? Okay. Go ahead and lay back. I'll put us both to sleep, and then I'll pull you into my dreamscape. See you in a second. Welcome aboard. No, I know it's nothing to look at right now. I wanted to show you it from the very beginning. You said you want to see what my job as a defensive dream designer looks like, so I figure why not give you the full tour. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I know I've made plenty of dreams for us to share, but now you get to see the work side of things, where I really have to push myself. Kind of like a take your lover to work day, I guess. I mean, luckily, the commute's great. uh, no, it always starts here in my own mind. I mean, I meet with the person who needs the defenses first, of course, in real life. Talk about their specific concerns and needs and figure out what's going to be the best solution for them. And then I start doing mock-ups here in my head. Planning it all out, shaping the space, building out the labyrinth. And once I'm happy with it, and the client gets a chance to see it and signs off on it, I enter their dreamscape and I recreate it one-to-one. Every tiny detail restructured in its new home. And then the client and I bind that design structure to their magical core so that it's a constant. That way, every time they go to sleep, the labyrinth will form around the part of the dreamscape that they actually inhabit. Hide it away. Keep it safe from prying eyes. No, I mean, not eyes, really. I mean, it's not that simple. But it keeps it safe from anyone who tries to walk in their dreams without their permission. No, well, I mean, like, when a Dreamwalker enters a person's mind, it's kind of like, washing up on the shore of an island, I guess. We start out on the fringes, and if that person is unempowered, or if they just don't have any kind of defenses up, then it's an easy walk straight in. And once we are in, we can do all kinds of things. People with bad intentions can wreak a lot of havoc on an unprotected mind. Or they can sneak in and steal secrets, see memories, plant ideas. Day to day, are most people at risk of anything like that? No, of course not. It's just like anyone could have their house broken into, but most people never will. But the more valuable stuff you've got in there, the more important it is to take security seriously. And that's where I come in. I help people who need to keep their minds safe. Yeah, this design is actually for a member of the Elemental Magistrate. It's kind of like it's a portion of our governing system as empowered people, specifically centering around the elementals. I mean, if you really look at the whole picture, the government structure is pretty complicated, but at the very top is the ruling council, which has representatives from all the magical races. And then within most of those races, you have further bureaucratic levels of judiciary systems and that kind of stuff. Either way, basically, this guy is an important political figure. He's a water elemental, and in a position like his, it's really important that his mind and all the information and thoughts in there stay safe and private. So he's contracted me to help. Yeah. Well, just to keep everything truly confidential, I'm not going to be able to show you the true final result. I'll just show you a version of what it'll look like. It's just policy. I mean, for the safety of the client, I have to be the only one who actually knows the layout of the labyrinth I ultimately put in place. But I can still show you the process. Is it fun? I mean, I think it is. It's what I love to do. I mean, I get to do something that matters, that helps people, and it pushes my creativity to the limit at the same time, and I love that. Well, the client doesn't really ever see the actual labyrinth in their dreams. I mean, I'll show it to them for them to approve, but it doesn't shape the way that their dreams look or anything like that. Their dreams themselves still exist, just as their brain creates them, whatever that looks like. That dreamscape of theirs is just contained within the design I create. So the aesthetics of what I make don't technically matter. I mean, so long as it's effective, but I still think it's important to match the style of the defense to the person who it's for. I mean, I like to think it makes it feel more comfortable to their magic and their mind, that it makes that integration process smoother. I don't actually think it has any effect. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could make it look like something that they absolutely hate, and I mean, we could still bind it to their core just as easy. But, and again, they don't even see it after the initial approval, but I like making something that feels right for that person. Match their style and energy, at least a bit. Plus, I think it makes my design skills better. I mean, I'm always pushing myself to adapt them to that client. I don't fall back on using the same patterns or designs. I think it makes the design safer. That way, no matter how many of my labyrinths you've seen, you don't really have any better of an idea of how to get into one, because they're all different. Well, for example, this guy, he likes modern design, fairly minimalistic, a lot of stark white stuff, clean lines, maybe even a little sterile for my tastes, but that's okay, because I mean, it's gonna be his defense, not mine. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna start with some simple shapes. Struts of pure white marble going up and up at angles to form triangles, like that. Yeah, I know they're huge. They're probably, God, I don't know, 10 times as tall as us. And then we just go ahead and make thousands of those in every direction, like that. Oh no, we're just getting started. I mean, yeah, they look great, sure, but I mean, this isn't a labyrinth, not yet. For that, we need to twist. Oh, careful. Sorry. I probably should have explained that better, what I was about to do. I'm sorry. I'm used to all this. I know you're not. I must have felt like you were standing in the lens of a kaleidoscope for a second there. Sorry, baby. Kiss to make it better. Yeah. But see, the marble multiplied. It pivoted off itself, locked itself into all the other shapes in a million different patterns now. We've got infinite vectors expanding out in every direction. Now we're starting to make a maze. So we keep twisting and bending the shapes, sharpen the angles, stack them, form stairways and sharp corners, passageways in a million different directions, a sea of stark white. But there's more to this elemental than just his design aesthetic. I mean, he's a whole person with different sides to him, different faces. He's not just cold and impartial. I mean, that's him at work. He's a judiciary, that's his job. But there's other things too. There's a softness to his eyes when he talks about things he cares about. There's Well, there's the way his face kind of clears for just a sec when he looks at the picture of his family on his desk. He's not just cold lines and sharp edges. So his labyrinth shouldn't be either. This part might get a little nauseating. You might want to hold on to me. Okay. So, we reach out and we grip every edge of every shape and split them open. Turn them inside out. And now we have glass and mirrors. Open them up like flower petals. Let them bloom on every surface. Reflections and refractions, curved, organic shapes. The material is still hard, but it's more delicate. The edges are rounded, warm to the touch. He feels anchored by the routine parts of his life, stabilized by his routines and the regularity and the people who feel constant, the people he trusts. So we run filaments throughout the maze, holding all those impossible shapes in place, pulling other ones into new positions, steadying it, but also making it almost like a web, more complicated. And we keep twisting, just like a kaleidoscope. New shapes, new angles, more bending, reshaping. We spin more mirrors into life and we flush them across the surfaces. Pull and twist. Something this big and complicated pulls hard on my threads. It strains my magic, but I use that unsteady rhythm, those discordant notes, to add more irregularity and chaos to the shapes. And I can't forget that he's a water elemental. Water feels like home to him. It's a source of strength, pride, comfort. So, we give him water. Warp gravity, so it pours and runs and floods in a million directions. Waterfalls that run upward, inverted waves crashing against the marble and the mirrors, and we push and pull to warp perspective, so the drops become oceans, and oceans become drops. Inches become miles. Perception and perspective bend and redefine themselves. And you have a labyrinth. Now this tiny little point on the end of my finger, this grain of sand, basically, that's his dreamscape. That's where all his nights, no matter how grand and expansive and infinite they might feel to him, they all take place in here. Space, time, our perceptions of everything work differently in a dream. We can imagine the impossible. And whatever you can imagine, you can make happen here. Even in something that seems this small. And then we hide it. Oh no, it's out there somewhere. Right where I want it to be. And that's how I keep him safe. Yeah, it's a lot for sure. If you stare for too long, it'll probably make your head spin. But I mean, it's kind of the goal. Well, thank you. I'm glad you think that it's beautiful. But if you ask me, and if you won't, I will. I think you are so much more amazing than any dreamscape I could create. No, I'm serious. I'm not just blowing sunshine up your ass. No. Well, because as amazing as all of this is, if I do say so myself, you are real. You're real and imperfect and imprecise, and you're beautiful for it. Dreams can be incredible, but they've got nothing on the real things in life. The wonderful things. Like holding you in bed every night. Finding time to make dinner together. Cuddling under a blanket and watching a storm roll in. I love my powers, but the waking reality that I have with you is so much better than the things I make. Because that reality is true. And I've got you in it. So what do you say we go enjoy some of that real life together, huh?